Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Dad's Arm Wrestling. Yes, we are here. Yes, I'm not dead. You saw me on After the Bell already, so you know that. Just, it's been an interesting week of traveling and schooling and mischief and mayhem and chaos, not the worker. And,
we humbly apologize for the darkness of the channel for the last few days.
Yes.
Between being gone, being exhausted after my birthday weekend.
Yes.
You know, just needing some time to recuperate. I know we've been hitting you hard, heavy, and fast with getting all our regular shows up in a short amount of time.
Yes.
We apologize for that. We hope you can forgive us, and we hope that you have still enjoyed the regular fare that we have presented to you.
Yes. We appreciate your support, as we always do.
Yes. And in fact, it is one of y'all that has suggested this week's topic.
We have a topic for this week. We're not just going to ramble on and on.
Mr. Ricky Lawson from Twitter,
yes.
at Ricky Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
So difficult then.
Yeah.
Has wondered our opinion on the top 10 wrestlers in the world.
Well,
now,
that phrase has been thrown out an awful lot by an awful lot of people.
And I think that might be what provoked him, is wanting to know who we really felt the best in the world was.
Right.
And we took this to be current wrestlers.
Yes.
Active.
Yes.
And,
So
I'm curious to see what you've got in store for us. So I'm going to throw it to you first, Mr. Meacham.
Well, I can
the great and powerful Oz will speak.
Okay. Well, I can lay your fears to rest now. John Cena is not in my top 10.
Thank God, because I would have seriously gotten up and walked out of here.
All right. John gets a honorable mention as far as personality-wise and as far as entertainment value and everything like that, but strictly in the ring competing, just that, not so much.
Okay.
There is one guy on here that you'll wonder, well, why is he on the list then? But we'll get there. Number 10, toward the bottom more because of his shenanigans recently and not being able to, keep himself out of trouble, but he is a really good wrestler and a great entertainer, and Randy Orton.
Okay.
Randy still has one of the best dropkicks I've ever seen in my entire life.
Better than Hardcore Holly?
I would venture that it's right up there. I'm not going to say better yet, but it's damn near.
What about London's Drop Salt?
No. If y'all don't get that, then go home. Hell out of here. Number 9, Claudio Castagnoli, Antonio Cesaro, the reigning United States champion, former PWG champion, former Ring of Honor World Tag Team champion with Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno. Claudio is so successful and so good, he can do it in 5 different languages. So he's awesome. And I've always been a big fan of Claudio from the beginning, and definitely on my list. Number 8 is the guy I was talking about that, well, if it's just on wrestling skill, why is he on here? The Miz. It's not. The Miz has improved leaps and bounds since he debuted.
Since we first saw him in UPW.
Yes, he has grown by leaps and bounds, as I said, and his mic work is also just that awesome. Yes, I said it.
He's a little bit more gusto into it. That mic work is awesome.
I also just got my voice back, so to do
Touche.
that would probably send it back into obscurity somewhere. Number 7, former TNA champion, tag team champion, Bobby Roode.
Okay.
Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him this week. Bobby Roode has shown me a tremendous amount of stuff I didn't know he had in his long tenure as World Heavyweight Champion of Impact. And he's still in the mix. He's still one of the best they have. And he definitely deserves to be in that upper echelon of TNA.
Okay.
Number 6, the first guy from Ring of Honor exclusively you're going to see, the only guy from Ring of Honor exclusively on this list, that's Roderick Strong.
Okay.
Triple Crown champion in Ring of Honor. Great competitor out here in PWG. The only guy, the first guy to ever use Jade as a prop in a match when she was pregnant against Jack Evans. So that just is funny. I just threw that out there because it's funny. But Roddy, just one of the best I've ever seen. Just one of the stiffest dudes you'll ever come across. He will kick your head off and then ask how bad it hurt later, just so he can laugh at how much it hurt.
Thankfully, he wasn't there on Saturday when I got my chops.
He would have done. He would have chopped your heart. He'd have chopped you so hard. Same with Davey. Same with a lot of guys from Ring of Honor that we encountered at Gorilla. Austin Aries, number 5, the World Heavyweight Champion of TNA, which, you know, it's funny. I was home this weekend with my pop, and he said he watches TNA more than he does WWE now, and it's guys like Austin Aries is the reason why. He's actually watching TNA, and like we sat there and watched Raw, and he was like, "This is bullshit. This show sucks."
Frank Meacham, I salute you for
Seriously.
coming around to TNA.
Seriously, he watches that, and you know, and yeah, he's liking the fact that like guys like Hulk and Stinger on there, the guys he actually knows. But he's watching these guys like AJ and Aries, and he's going, why are they in WWE? It's because they have sense, Dad. They have some smarts and don't work for the Fed because they'll get wasted.
Tell him to look up on YouTube that match from Jacked between AJ and the Hurricane.
Yes.
That match was fucking awesome.
It was. Considering it was a jobber match at the end of the day, it was still pretty goddamn good.
Pause for a tasty.
Speaking of AJ, number 4, AJ Styles.
It's a phenomenal one.
AJ only above Aries because of his tenure with TNA, his long tenured association, and the fact that he's just that awesome a dude.
Okay.
Despite what Danielson and Kazarian will tell you in character.
Yeah.
AJ's amazing.
I was gonna say, we all know that they're BFFs.
Exactly. Their kids are named after each other pretty much. Number 3, Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Money in the Bank is up there because, number 1, he has proven in his time as Dolph Ziggler that he belongs in the upper card of WWE.
Yes.
Former World Heavyweight Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, former U.S. Champion.
Former Tag Champion.
For Tag Champion as Nikki in the Spirit Squad, let's not forget that. But as Dolph Ziggler, he has proven his single success he's on the cusp of greatness once again. And besides the fact he's awesome. He's a great dude.
He really is.
He's really cool. You know, people give him a lot of shit, and we've heard more than one person in this house give, you know, him criticism for ignoring them. But you know what? Like, whatever. Dolph's cool. I've liked him.
More often than not, when you encounter Dolph Ziggler, you are encountering Nick Nemeth.
Exactly.
And that is the difference at the end of the day.
Yes. Very
You know,
much so.
he is one of a rare breed that when you encounter him, whether he's going into the arena, coming out of the arena, at SummerSlam Access, very rarely is he in gimmick.
Yes.
You are meeting the true, genuine guy. Just like every time we've encountered Miz, we've encountered Mike Mizanin.
Yeah, I was just going to
Not
say.
the Miz.
Yeah, it's funny how, you know, these heels that are so just nasty and mean in WWE, when you go out to things like Access, they melt. Freaking Miz, Dolph, Alberto, Vicky Guerrero, you know, Bryan Danielson, you know, who is just, you know, caught off his damn rocker on television, came up, big old smile on his face, and was actually being Bryan Danielson of Access. Was like, "Hey, Bryan, what's up?" You know?
Antonio,
exactly,
you know,
Antonio.
We walked up to him and called him Claudio, and right then and there, he knew that he was talking to people that knew who he really was.
Yes, and I'm sure he's going, "Damn, why aren't there more of them out here?" You know, it's guys like that. Speaking of wrestlers that, you know, well, I take it back because this is a wrestler that I've encountered once in person and just he rubbed me the wrong way. I haven't encountered him since, but I've heard mixed reviews about him, and that's number 2, CM Punk, the man who currently claims to be the best in the world. Yes, claims to be the best in the world right now. He is the WWE champion, which arguably makes you the best in the world. But you know, when you have guys like, you know, Ring of Honor, who, you know, until recently their champions were the best in the world, and you had guys that are like really very skilled and very technically proficient and everything. Not a, you know, love Kevin Steen, but at the end of the day, he's not the best wrestler in the world. Let's be real. But Punk definitely belongs on here, douchebag or not. And number 1, the man who really pioneered the best in the world catchphrase, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, you know, Mr. Yes No himself. Bryan will forever be on my top 10 current wrestlers in the world until the day he retires.
It's a very interesting list, and for once we're not going to agree on everything. I think we only have 4
well, at the
that
end of
are
the day,
the same.
And it isn't a Dad's prediction show, that's why.
This is true.
So
they're in different rankings.
But
I think we only have 4 people that are the same.
Very good.
Number 10 on my list. I am surprised that this gentleman did not make your list.
He probably get on a mention as soon as you say his name.
The current reigning and defending NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
I only didn't put Adam on there because at the end of the day, he's on the one last ride, and he is currently one of my favorites. He's just I just don't think he's up there with those 10 that I mentioned, but he is awesome. No
I
question about
definitely
that.
think he deserves a spot on the list. One last ride tour or not, he still gets out there, puts in work, and is arguably one of the best independent wrestlers on the scene. Number 9, you kind of discredited there when you were talking about CM Punk and whatnot, and that's Kevin Steen.
Sorry. You know,
I have loved Kevin from the minute I saw him at Gorilla, and I still am a big fan of Kevin. He is Mr. Wrestling.
I am a fan of Kevin. I just don't think he when you look at the mold of Ring of Honor champions in the last 10 years, other than Joe and that Japanese guy that crushed Brian's eye, there haven't been these big lumbering dudes. And at least with I forget, Morishima, I think is his name. God help me, I'm horrible at that. And Joe, they were like completely technically proficient at the same time of being a big dude. They could both move, especially Joe. Joe's got the agility of a fucking cat.
Steen can move. We have seen it before.
But not as well as he could in Gorilla. If you've seen his recent stuff, which I don't think, I don't know.
The last time I saw Steen wrestle was Bola last year.
Okay, well, Steen is definitely still up there. I just don't know if he's one of the 10 best in the world.
In my opinion, he deserves a spot at number 9.
Okay.
Because he is that damn good.
Okay.
I mean, he's one of the only people I can ever think of that was ROH and Gorilla champion at the same time.
I think he's the only one. I could be wrong, though.
And that says something, considering, for lack of better purpose, Gorilla is ROH West.
Yeah, pretty much.
Number 8 on my list is the first person that we agree on, Bobby Roode.
Oh.
Bobby Roode, for just about everything that you said, is why he makes my list. I liked him when he was part of Team Canada and he first debuted. I liked him when they broke Team Canada up and started the whole beer money shtick. And even before that, when he had, I think it was Tracy as his manager.
Tracy at first, and then Peyton. Yes.
You know, and then breaking up beer money. Finally, after all those years, wondering if he was going to be able to hang as a singles and proving everybody that he could by winning the Bound for Glory series, which, as we have already mentioned numerous times, amounted to nothing because he didn't get the title out of that, but being able to get the belt a couple of weeks later off of his old beer money partner and having a good, solid heel run. He is definitely technically proficient in the ring. Try saying that 5 times fast. And Bobby Roode, first person on the list that we both agree on. Number 7, another guy I'm kind of surprised you didn't say, but we touched on him when talking about the size of Steen, Joe.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe is a bad motherfucker. And he can move around that ring. He can do cruiserweight shit that a guy his size should not be able to do. He can get in there and suplex the shit out of you.
Yes.
Jade still thinks he's behind the aces and eights.
Yeah. Well, you know, to be fair, Jade thinks he's a douche at the end of the day. So.
Well,
you know.
He can be a douche if rubbed the wrong way. He comes from that aura, that that mold that Punk and Aries come out of, where as long as you are nice and say please and thank you, he is willing to do for the fans. But if you just demand of him, fuck you! And that gets taken as arrogant and douchey. And I can see both sides of it, because at the end of the day, we are asking a favor of them that they don't have to do. The least we can do is be cordial about it.
Well, with Aries, I'll agree with you. Punk was just flat douche. I was nice to him as I could possibly be.
I haven't had the chance with Punk yet, so I can't speak on that. But Joe,
Joe's
awesome. I asked him if he could come over and sign something, and he was like, "No, you come to me." And at the time we were at Gorilla and we had Nicole with us, who, like Jade, is in a wheelchair. She asked if he could come over to her, and he obliged because of the wheelchair.
Right.
While he was over there, I took advantage of the situation because she was like right next to me.
Right.
And got my picture and my thing signed. But it was like, no, I'm not going to do for you. If you want my signature, if you want my picture, you come to me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where
And
Jade's
it's,
attitude
and it's
comes
stuff like
from.
that gets taken as being douchey.
Right.
Off topic.
Off topic.
Next person that we agree on, current TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. I have not seen Austin do anything that I did not like aside from wearing that ugly pink fuzzy vest. I liked him in Ring of Honor. I liked him in Gorilla. I liked him during his run with the Standard and NWA Hollywood. His series with Sky was epic.
Yes.
And now he's in TNA. Pulled an Ultimate Warrior, for lack of a better comparison. Had the X Division title and the World Heavyweight title. Had to surrender the X Division title to get the shot.
Yep.
Austin is awesome. There is nothing bad I can say about Austin.
I'm going to throw it out there really quick. Big shout out to Scorpio Sky for Monday's appearance. on
Harold.
Raw. Harold.
We love you, Harold.
We love you, Harold.
Or is it
Harold.
Mason?
Or yeah.
Which one? I'm getting confused.
Yeah, I know. Good job, Sky. Awesome. I mentioned on Twitter, but I didn't throw it out
And
there.
did you notice GQ Money?
Is that who that was? Oh, shit!
It was a very, very brief snippet at the end.
Yes.
But yes, GQ Money with the little curled up mustache. That was him.
My bad, Ryan. Sorry.
Number 5, middle of the pack. Probably would get an honorable mention from you once I say his name.
Probably.
I've just loved his work, though, in the ring since the minute I first saw it, and that's the certified badass Rick Ellis.
Yes, and again, Rick wasn't on my list in the world because he hasn't really ventured outside of the West Coast the other day. So,
just because he hasn't made it to other regions doesn't mean he's not the best in the world.
I just don't.
It's the undiscovered diamond, if you will.
Yes.
But Rick Ellis is definitely a throwback to the Dynamite Kid and Chris Benoit type of wrestler. Not man, not gonna go hang anybody and kill people, but the Dynamite Kid, Chris Benoit type wrestler that will just lay it all out in the ring. Doesn't care if he gets injured or not, because he is just going out there to fuck somebody up.
Yep.
Number 4 on my list. This might surprise you. Bryan Danielson.
Really? Three
Daniel
people
Bryan.
above Bryan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mainly because he's not Bryan Danielson right now. Daniel Bryan has been tamed down sufficiently.
Okay.
Were he still Bryan Danielson, he might be a little bit higher. But as Daniel Bryan, I can only put him as number 4 on my list.
Okay.
Number 3, Davey Richards.
I was toying between Davey back and forth, and I think Davey's hurt right now, which is why I took him off my list because he's not currently active at the moment. So
I don't follow enough to know if he's injured or hurt, so I just went with it, and Davey is fucking awesome.
Davey is awesome. Yes.
So Davey Richards, Ring of Honor, gets the number 3 spot on my list. Number 2, the Cult of Personality, CM Punk.
In the same spot I put him in. Okay. All right.
So that's the only one we agreed on the position.
Yes. Yes. So who then is better than CM Punk in your eyes at the end of the day? Who's the best wrestler in the world right now?
Drum roll, please. Kurt fucking Angle. Olympic gold medal. How can you argue? How can you argue? He's got one accolade that nobody else in professional wrestling has. And he still can get out there and put on 5-star matches every time. Doesn't matter who he's working with. You can put him in there with a pile of manure and he'll make that pile of manure look good. Is he past his prime? Maybe just a little bit. His better days are definitely getting behind him. Does that mean that he's still not one of the best, if not the best? Not in my eyes.
Alright.
What do y'all think? Let us know. Give us your lists. Go ahead and feel free to rip ours to shit, because I know you will. But if you're going to rip ours to shit, make it a video response. If you're not going to make a video response, don't rip it to shit.
And if you are, then come up with your own.
Seriously.
Give us reasons why yours is better.
I totally agree. Because at the end of the day, straight edge means that I'm better than you.
That's right. Unless you're Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Or Bryan Danielson. Although Bryan's vegan, he's a whole other thing. Anyway.
So.
Yes, this has been Dad's on Wrestling. He is JJ. I am
He is Jeff.
Yes.
We will see you next time here on the Kasagi 18 Studios channel.